What is up, you guys? It's Abby and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I would love it if you would click that subscribe button down below. I post videos every Monday and Friday just about college and lifestyle type stuff, and I would love it if you guys stuck around to see more videos in the future. And be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up if you like it and if you enjoy college videos. And today's video is basically just going to be why I chose to attend the University of Alabama. And for those of you who don't know or who are seeing my face for the first time, I do go to the University of Alabama and I'm going to be a sophomore in the fall, and I'm majoring in finance. And I will be starting my upper division courses in the fall, which is a little scary. But yeah, I just wanted to explain to you guys why I chose to go to Alabama over the other schools I applied to and got accepted into. And I'm just wearing my Bama sweatshirt today and my Alabama necklace, you know, all decked out in the Bama gear, appropriate for the video. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started on the reasons why I chose to go to Alabama. I'm going to start off with reasons that are definitely important but aren't necessarily decision makers. So I'm not going to call them less important because they do matter, but they're just going to be the reasons why I chose to go to Alabama that are good for making decisions but not necessarily the least or most important. I was born in Montgomery, Alabama, and I started watching college football when I was just like early middle school or late elementary school. I don't really remember. And I just kind of assumed that you just rooted for the team from the state you were born in. I just kind of thought that was how it went, and I've just been an Alabama fan since I've been watching college football. So I've always been an Alabama fan, so that was definitely like a kind of plus for me, I guess, to attend the University of Alabama, because I could really root for a team that I've been cheering for many years. So it would make it even more exciting at football games and everything like that. Another reason that is like important to me, and it is very nice and it's definitely a plus, is that my brother does go to the University of Alabama as well, and he's going to be a senior this year. And having him there, I knew that that would kind of like be a plus for me, because he would be there in case I needed anything and he could help me out with a lot of stuff, and same thing for me, I could help him out if he ever needed it and that kind of stuff. So it's really nice to have a sibling there, so that's just really good. And I had been to the school and everything before and been around Tuscaloosa since he had been there for 2 years before I came, so I kind of got to see Alabama before I ever really attended. Another reason that I think is really important when you're making your decision about schools, especially if you're torn between two schools, is that Alabama's campus is hands down like the most beautiful thing ever. If you've been on it, you probably know that it is just absolutely outstanding, and it's just definitely a very southern campus, and it has those like huge massive buildings with the huge columns and just like really pretty red brick, and like just the architecture is beautiful, like landscaping is beautiful, everything is just gorgeous. And I really love that about Alabama, and I think it's really important when you are deciding on what school to go to that you really do love the campus you're on and that you love the atmosphere of the campus you're on, because I know sometimes you can go to a school and you're like, I don't really care for the way this campus looks, I don't really care for the way this campus feels, it's okay, it's decent, whatever. But it's really important to enjoy the campus and really appreciate the campus you're on, because you're going to be making walks to classes every day, and having a really pretty walk and everything makes those long walks in the heat or in the freezing cold a lot better. Another reason why I chose Alabama is because they get to experience all 4 seasons, and which I just think is amazing. For those of you who don't know, I am from Florida, so I pretty much just experienced like spring and summer and then kind of like fall weather for 2 weeks whenever I was here year round. So going to Alabama allows me to experience all 4 seasons. In the fall, it's just like unreal how beautiful Alabama is, because you have like the red and the orange leaves in the fall, and then you have snow in the winter. There was actually snow this past year, which was crazy. And then you have really pretty springs with like really green grass, and then the summer, I'm not there, but I get the summer in Florida. So it's really nice to be able to experience all 4 seasons. And then the last reason that I would say is just more of like a pro than a con, and isn't necessarily like a deciding factor, is that it was far enough away from home for me, but it was also close enough for me to be able to come home on the weekends if I wanted to. I know for some people, they live literally so far away that they can't just go home for the weekend and stay in their hometown for the weekend. But for me, Alabama is like 5 hours away, so it's nice because it is a longer drive, which does stink, but it's like far enough away from home to where I'm not wanting to come home every weekend, and it's also close enough for me to come home if I ever needed to. And now into the more serious reasons, I guess you could say, why I chose Alabama. Definitely, I think a huge reason why I chose Alabama, and pretty much the only reason why I'm even able to go to Alabama, is the scholarships they offer. I don't know if you guys know about their scholarships, but if you have a certain score on the ACT or SAT and then have a certain GPA, they pretty much guarantee you the scholarship. So I know for me, I had to get a 32 to get all of my out-of-state tuition paid for by the University of Alabama. And I started out at a 26 on the ACT, and then I just pushed myself and took it a couple more times, and I got to the 32, which was great, and I really pushed myself and worked my butt off for it. But if I wouldn't have gotten that 32, then there would have been no way for me to afford or attend Alabama. So I really had that motivation in me to get that score so I could get that scholarship and not have to worry about paying any tuition. So I just have to pay like the room and board, and then I had to pay my meal plan my freshman year, and now like these next 3 years are going to be a lot cheaper since I'm not having to pay for like a really expensive dorm and a really expensive meal plan. Yeah, I don't really know the specifics of how what the scholarships are. I know when my brother was going to be a freshman, they had to get a 30 to get their full tuition paid for. But then the year between us, they raised the score to a 32. So I got really stressed out because I was like, there's no way I can do it. But if you push yourself hard enough and believe you can and you have enough motivation, you can definitely do it. So I think that is definitely a huge reason why I chose to go to Alabama, because they offered me the most scholarship money, and it actually was my cheapest option out of all my other schools. Another reason why I chose Alabama is just because I really felt welcomed, and I felt not necessarily like I belong. I never personally really got that, oh, this is my home forever feeling whenever I visited Alabama's campus for the first time. Definitely don't think that you have to get this feeling of this is where I belong whenever you're visiting college campuses, because that doesn't happen to everyone. It's definitely just kind of like a myth that you get that feeling. I definitely knew I loved Alabama's campus and I loved just the whole atmosphere of it, but I didn't like feel in my heart that it was just meant to be or anything like that. But definitely another important thing is just that I felt so welcomed, and I felt like they wanted me there rather than I was privileged to be stepping foot on their campus or just honored to be there. It was just really great because at my orientation, at my tour, and at my Capstone Scholars Day, each of the times I visited Alabama, my like tour guides and just the people who are working with me were just so kind, and they just really valued me personally, and I didn't really feel like a number. I felt like I really just was important and valued to them, and that they really wanted me there. So I think feeling like I was valued definitely helped me choose Alabama. Another reason I chose Alabama is because I knew it wouldn't be like a super small school. I knew I didn't want to go to a super small school, but now that I've been in college for a year, I probably wouldn't mind going to a smaller school. With that being said, I definitely wouldn't want to go to a school that was like the size of my high school, because that would be like really too small in my opinion. But I did want to go to like a bigger university. So I definitely knew that Alabama was one of those schools, and I knew that they were very reputable with sports and academics, so it just worked out well. I also knew that the University of Alabama did have a very good business school, especially the graduate school for business, and I didn't really know I wanted to go into business whenever I was applying to Alabama, but over the summer I started thinking about business instead of like psychology, which is what I applied for. When I got to see all the opportunities that the business school has to offer, I was really drawn in, and I know that there are other business schools at the other universities that I applied to that are like even better or just as good, or very good business schools as well. But I think if the major I was choosing wasn't as reputable at Alabama, it would probably be harder for me to just choose and stay with Alabama. But if the major that I wanted to do at Alabama wasn't necessarily as reputable as maybe another school I applied to, or it just wasn't as good, then I probably wouldn't have wanted to stay in that major or really be at Alabama for that major. I know if you're probably watching this, you're probably like really confused because you probably saw my transferring video, or like am I transferring video, I guess I should say, which was the video I uploaded like 2 videos ago, I think. And I did choose to stay at Alabama if you have not watched that video yet. So I know this may sound weird, like me explaining why I chose Alabama when I considered transferring, but I do really encourage you to watch that video. I'll leave it linked down below just to see what I went through and why I made the decision I made. And those are all the main reasons why I chose Alabama and chose to attend such a great school, and I'm so happy to be there, and I can't wait to go back for the fall. So if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.